Hi, students. I'm trying to give you a little bit of a how to edit your interviews that you did. So let me kind of talk through this. If you are on your blank WeVideo screen, you're going to go to Projects and then go over to the Shared with Me project and double click that. You will end up with something that says either Broadcast Green Quick Interviews or Broadcast Gold Quick Interviews. You will double click on the one that you see and start your edit there. Go to a blank edit and start editing. So do that first. I'm going to switch over to a different screen where I already have some things imported. So actually I don't. I can just go ahead and do that. Now, let's say you want to import footage from your Google Drive into this project. Now, the next thing you're going to do is go up to the import button on the upper left-hand corner, click that, and anything that is currently in your Google Drive is accessible through your Google Drive. Go ahead and click on that. The first time that you click on that, it will ask you to authorize it. Once it's authorized once, it continues to keep it authorized. Then you're going to find the clip or clips that you are planning on importing. I'm just going to import a random one to get us started. Clip you import. If you have multiple clips, you can hold down the control key and click several of them. But I'm just going to import one as a test and hit select. Now, depending upon how long your clip is, it could take a few seconds or several minutes to upload. It will have the blue box around it, like you see here, until it finishes uploading. Video clips take longer than still pictures. Once it is uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and start this process since I have 3 that are already here. One of the things I'm asking you to do for this project is to also share the video clips that you have imported into WeVideo with your fellow students. To do that, with the project open, you're going to 2-finger click, not double click, 2-finger click on the thumbnail of the video clip and then go to share to project. Once you do that, and I'm going to do that with each one of these, share to project, go to this and share to project. So now all 3 of those clips are in that project. So if I or someone else were to have this project open and they go over here to project media, if you click on that, those 3 clips will be in the project media file. So you will be able to see video clips that other class members took of this same topic. That's why it was important that you all use the same question or 2 so that you could have something to combine. Now, once you have your video clips and your timeline, you're probably going to want to watch them. A couple of ways you can watch them. I can click on it and I can watch it here, or I can click on it and drag it to the timeline and watch it down here. Both will work fine. When you drag something to the timeline initially, sometimes it has to prepare. The advantage of dragging it to the timeline is I can also go ahead and edit some of things out of it while it's on the timeline. Although you can do something similar up there. So let's say, so I'm watching this. Okay, this was a video that I took about 9/11. All right, so the first thing I'm going to want to trim off on this, I know that I don't want the question or me asking the question. So I can go right here. This is the playhead. This is selected. I can actually use my scissors right up here and split the clip. Click on the part that I want to get rid of and hit the backspace and get rid of it. Now, so here, now I've trimmed off my question. So that's the first part of the trimming I'm going to want to do. Now I'm also going to watch this because there might be parts of it where I'm going to want to trim out. And it might be a small part. Let me see if I can find something. Okay. This was the good part of the interview. So we'd go up here. Okay, so here she's talking about her daughter as a toddler, and down here she also talks about her daughter being a toddler. So I may not want to have that reference in there twice. I might be able to just use her ending comment, but to get it at the beginning of a sentence and not cut off a word, one of the things that I can do is down here on this slider, I can stretch that out a little bit, and that allows me to edit smaller sections off of the video. So for example, if I have it collapsed, okay, so if I wanted to cut that out, I could clip this, but it might end up being jerky. If I want to get a very small section of it, like you see how she's breathing in right there, if I want to get it at a certain part of the breath, what I can do is stretch that out, and now I can see it in a lot slower motion, and I can get it to make sure that her mouth is closed instead of getting in the middle of a word. So that's what this is for, is to stretch it out so I can see details. I can also go over here underneath where the video track is, and I can click this little button, and I can actually make, there's 3 different ways you can see the track. I can make it the largest, and on this one I can see where the sound is. So I know right here there's no sound right there. So I know if I were to click something here, it may be in the middle of a thought, excuse me, but it won't be in the middle of a word. So that's what those things are for. So I would be trying to figure out what I want to trim off of in any given clip. And I would do that with all 3 of these clips that I've done. Now, I did say there was more than one way of trimming it. I can also click up here and I can watch it up here. Now, one of the things up here is I can kind of do a little bit of a pre-edit. So I know she's like shaking her head, and I know that I'm not going to want that part. Let's say I watch it and I know I really want to keep this part right in here. So what I've done is I've pre-edited up here. So now when I click it up here and drag it down, I'm only going to get that part that was brought up here. So what you're going to eventually end up with is something similar to this. I did this on 9/11 back last September. You'll have a title slide that shows your topic and possibly a little more information, and you're hearing them tell a story. And since I'm using a couple of different videos, what I've done is taken clips from one video, and then I have gone back and forth, so they're telling different parts of the story at different times. So one of the ways that I was able to avoid people who did really long stories that had a while to get to the point and I wanted to cut parts out of them is to go to somebody else's story and then come back to it if I wanted to. You have the 5 interviews that you've taken, plus underneath your shared project media, once everybody has shared stuff, once everybody has shared stuff, you'll be able to have other clips and interviews that you can pull into. We're looking for something that is somewhere between 1 minute or somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute and a half, depending upon how good the interviews are and how well they're stringed together. Hopefully this helps. Good luck.